Kliff Kingsbury, interviewed by the Birds. Vic Fangio and the Dolphins decide to part ways. And now Fangio is a top candidate for the open DC role for the Eagles. Press conference update for Howie and Nick. Current draft picks for the Eagles. Opponents for the next season. And much, much more, man. Stick around to find out how we feel about all that. Look, man, just in case y'all forgot, this is who I am. This is right here is what I do. This is the Diamond Crew. But I want to give a shout out to my G's and my OGs. But you already know what to do. But if you're new to this channel and you like content like this, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to like. I need you to comment. I need you to subscribe. I need you to share this. I need you to hit that notification bell so you always up to date. Look, man, the Eagles wanted to hire Vic last year, but could not get a deal done. You know, there was a video. I want to get into this before we get moving. There was a video that surfaced right after the news of Vic and the Dolphins parting ways. Dolphins, Javon Holland posted a video of him kicking rocks. I don't know exactly if that means that he's happy that Vic is gone, but if so, that would say a lot. That would say a whole lot, you know. But let's talk about what sets the Fangio 3-4 defense apart against, you know, these modern offenses. He uses an effective two-high, you know, structure, utilizing two deep safeties. You know, this formation restricts explosive plays, you know, compelling opposing teams to adopt patience and opt for shorter throws. Additionally, the front mechanics strategically counter the run, you know, with a lighter box, you know, enabling the defense to allocate more resources to coverage. You know, basically, Fangio commonly employs quarter coverage, meaning a triangle coverage that gets three defenders covering two offensive players, and also use cover six, which we all probably know merges cover four and cover two, you know, resembling cover three, but three deep defenders and four underneath. It basically, you know, it provides a disguise, pass protection, you know, and active safeties in a run game. You know, flooding the deep field with conceding underneath routes. You know, some people call it death by 1,000 cuts. Look, in my opinion, I was looking to see a different scheme, than the one that we currently run. Because, you know, the one that we run is a version of the Fangio defense, you know, but it is what it is, basically, man. It is what it is. You know, with Vic running the scheme, you know, and the right personnel, I'm hoping that we can make this defense work, you know, if Fangio is the guy, and that's the direction we want to go. You know, I'm not going to say I'm upset about it, the hiring, you know, but I'm not going to say I'm too impressed by it either. You know, especially because Nick said that he wanted something new. You know, he wanted something fresh, you know, but now it's looking like we're going back to the same defensive scheme. And that can be scary hours. It can be spooky for everybody if you don't have the personnel. But as usual, once the news is official, I will update y'all with all that. And you know when I know. That's basically what it is. But real quick, man, I want to talk about, you know, how Kliff Kingsbury, you know, being interviewed for the Philadelphia Eagles offensive coordinator position, he could possibly be hired by the Eagles. And this could be a game changer for Jalen, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. You know, Kliff coached Patrick Mahomes, Kyler Murray, also Caleb Williams recently. You know, this man is a QB whisperer if you want to keep it a stat. And he would do numbers for Jalen Hurts, in my opinion. You know, Kliff Kingsbury is a disciple of the air raid offense. All right, y'all. So the air raid offense, you know, it refers to an offensive scheme, you know, popularized by coaches like Mike Leach, Howie, Mummy, Sonny Dykes, and Tony Franklin. And right, this system is designed out of the shotgun formation. Most of it is always ran out of the shotgun formation. And most of the time, where do we see Jalen Hurts at? We see Jalen Hurts in the shotgun formation. That's where he plays his best. I mean, I would like to see him under center a little bit, but in the air raid formation is mainly out of the shotgun with 4 receivers and 1 running back. That's the way it is. This formation is a variation of the run and shoot offense, with 2 outside receivers and 2 inside receivers. This offense uses trips formation featuring 3 wide receivers and 1 side of the field and a single wide receiver on the other. I also want to talk about, Jalen running this offense in OU, and he's super experienced in executing, what we need to see on the field. So I would be happy, to implement this type of offensive scheme, with Jalen because it's something that he's used to seeing. He's comfortable with it. And it's not the line of receivers up and we run straight seams. It's not like that. It's totally different. It's not a bunch of different formations in the air raid. It's something else that you won't see, but you'll see so many different plays ran out of those different formations. You'll see a lot of motion. You'll see a lot of people pulling in these formations. A lot of the linemen are pulling, so you can definitely run the RPO out of this formation. You can also run play action out this formation. You can also utilize the middle of the field, something that we don't do, and we had issues with this year. Look, man, one thing I wanted to talk about and bring up with this air raid system, it's focused on passing, and we've been looking to focus a little bit more on running. But at the same time, while saying that, 65 to 75% of the time, these offensive plays will be passing in the air raid system. But with saying that, man, Jalen will have the freedom to change the play at the line based on what the defense is showing. In at least one instance, as many as 90% of the run plays called in a season were chosen by an audible at the line of scrimmage. So I kind of like that for Jalen Hurts because it kind of gives him the freedom, to hand the ball off, and give you that option, when the defense is showing you certain looks. So it's not taking away the run, but I think that it puts it in the quarterback's discretion. And Jalen is one of the best when it comes to, being a triple threat quarterback. And when I say triple, that means his arm, his leg, and his mind. He can really manipulate defenses with his eyes. The air raid offense is an offense I think Jalen is comfortable with. I think Jalen could definitely benefit from running this style offense, probably with a little bit of variations to it, to just change things up. But, Kingsbury, he coached in the NFL. He coached the Arizona Cardinals. He just came from coaching USC. So a lot of people don't like this offense. They don't like the way the scheme is. And that's probably because, they don't see the different variations and the different ways you could be creative in this scheme. And a lot of times, we've seen it a lot in the Pac-12, and a lot of those guys, according to, some folks, the Pac-12 games come on too late, and these guys are already drunk and they already passed out. So, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot that we could talk about there. But, I don't want to dive too deep into it, but like I said, if this was to happen, and I'm not opposed to bringing in a guy like Kliff Kingsbury in, I would definitely love that. I would love that, so it's something that if it happens, we're going to definitely dive into it and see how that air raid offense can help the Philadelphia Eagles. But I also want to talk about the press conference and how that went today. Howie said that was Nick's decision to demote Desai. That was probably the most important. It was one of the most important things I wanted to know. Who decision was it to switch coordinators in the middle of the season? Because I really feel like that was where our downfall happened. That was like the straw that broke the camel's back. And Howie came out and said, that was all Nick's decision to demote Desai and bring up Patricia, and give him all the play calling. So we definitely got to, and he know that was a bad decision. He said it in the presser. That was a bad decision. And he reiterated, that he thought it was the best thing for the team at the time, but Howie made it clear that Nick Sirianni is the coach moving forward. As we continue to move through, I definitely want to bring that up. We already kind of knew that, but with this presser, that kind of etched it in stone that Nick Sirianni will be the coach for the Philadelphia Eagles this upcoming season. And he basically said it's because of the success that Nick has had. He said it's hard to find coaches that gain this type of success, so and we kind of already knew that. But, at least we making the steps in the right direction to try to bring some guys who know what they're doing. And Howie's exact word is that he basically wants to figure this out together with Nick Sirianni in the building. So, let's move on. Nick is the guy. Just as we thought. I know it's not the most popular thing, but, it is what it is. But the biggest change that I think we all should be happy about, with all this is that Nick will be letting the coordinators, who they hire, he's going to let them run their sides of the ball. And guess what? Thank God. Thank God. So basically the DC will bring their own scheme to the table, and that's how it's going to be ran. And on the flip side, the OC will do the same. And Nick Sirianni will stay out the way. And I think that the success will return when that happens, because we kind of been here before with this already. Nick was also asked, what he was going to do because of that, because he's going to be less involved. He said that he's going to just be a head coach, which I thought was kind of funny. He's going to just be a head coach. Yeah, that's it. Be a head coach. Relinquish all those rights and let those guys do what they came here to do. He's going to be the coach, and his day-to-day duties will involve, dealing with culture issues, what I'm saying, and making sure the standard is met, along with the core values. That's what we need. We need Nick Sirianni to do, but we need him to stay away from the play calling. And obviously we probably going to need him to stay away from the X and O's. Nick did discuss the moving on from Brian Johnson with Jalen before it happened, and he also leaned on the fact that, Jalen kind of wasn't real happy about it. He didn't say that exact, but you know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying. You can kind of read the room, read the temperature. I don't know if Jalen was too happy about that, but, things had to be done and people had to be moved, and it is what it is. But all of this, the Eagles are looking to trade Jalen. Don't listen to it, because I got kind of worked up on X listening to all these guys saying that, I think it was Pro Football Talk saying that Jalen was done. Like he probably was, the Eagles was looking to trade Jalen, but that's not the case. That's all fake news. Like Philadelphia Eagle pundits and people who report and get paid to report on the Eagles are the worst, man. They say anything for clicks. And that's what we really starting to understand, especially when you say that Jalen is about to get traded, and the Eagles in this organization is looking to trade somebody who you just paid $250 million. Like, that makes zero sense. And I don't want to hear it. But don't listen to it, because this team is looking to bring in an OC that can gel with Jalen. They said that in their presser today. There was something else I was looking, to try to get a couple little answers from. Jalen is still in the fold. You know what I mean? Point blank. So y'all need to go ahead and move off of that. But as we move further into the offseason, man, I want to talk about how many draft picks the Eagles have in the 2024 draft. From the loss of the free agents that we lost last year, like Isaac Sayamalu, TJ Edwards, Javon Hargrave, and so on and so forth, we received picks. And I want to go over, the picks that the Eagles have this year. So first, man, the Eagles have 1 third-round pick awarded, which was a compensatory pick. They also have 1 first-round pick at 22, which is their own. They have 3 fifth-round picks. this coming draft. They also have 1 second-round pick from New Orleans, pick 50. They also have 1 pick in the second round, which is their own, pick 53, right? And we also have 4 5th-round picks and 1 pick in the 7th round. So, with that amount of picks in this upcoming draft, Howie Roseman is going to put on another masterclass. And I can see that happening. I think that the draft from last year was a really good draft, but I think this year could be a really good draft as well. I can't wait to start diving into all of the picks and all of the players that's coming out, and seeing how what players can help the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm not saying that I'm happy that it's off season, but it's time to move on. It's time to move on. And with saying all that, let's get into the 2024 opponents for the Philadelphia Eagles. That's already out right now. And this is what it looks like. So the home games this year, we're going to have, of course, Dallas, Giants, and the Washington. We split games with them every year, two games apiece. So we already knew that was in the fold. But the other teams, Cleveland, Falcons, Panthers, Jags, Green Bay, and Pittsburgh are all the home opponents for the Eagles in the 2024. So the away games, of course, Dallas, Washington, and Giants. As I said, we split with those guys every year. But we also play Tampa Bay. It seems like we play Tampa Bay every year. We also play the Rams. It seems like we play the Rams every year as well. But this year, coming up, we will get to see Baltimore. We really never have a bunch of luck lately when we play the Baltimore regular season. So it'll be good to see what happens in that game, especially with them coming off a monster season. We also will have the Bengals away this year and also the Saints. So, these are the games. We don't have a particular date for each game. That's not going to come out right now, but at least we do know, who's on our radar and basically who's on the menu for next year. So, stay tuned in, and we'll keep people updated about that. I want to talk about this Britton Covey crap, another false narrative created by the pundits. I want to talk about that, man, because none of this stuff is true. And as much as they talk about all of the negative stuff about the Philadelphia Eagles, it's our jobs as content creators to come and tell you what the real is. Because when we hear stuff, we know we kind of can figure if it's real or if it's fake. And a lot of things that come out from these pundits are false narratives. So the narrative was Covey said that Jalen Hurts is not a good leader. And basically he's unapproachable at times. And that's not the case. That's not facts. That's something else made up by these guys to try to make Jalen a villain. Jalen Hurts is my quarterback, man. Y'all need to get that through your heads. He is the quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, and we stand behind him. And y'all got to stop these false narratives. It's not doing nothing but getting you clicks and taking away your credibility, especially from people like the content creators. But here it is, man, straight from the horse's mouth, man. Look, y'all see what it say right here. Jalen is a good leader. Jalen is the guy. These players can come to Jalen all the time, so that's basically what it is in a nutshell. These guys just create false narratives and they never tell the truth. But we're gonna tap into that as much as possible over here. You know what I mean? But if you still tapped in and you felt like this video helped you out, man, please do the channel a favor, man. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you're always up to date, man. Until the next time, as usual, out.